Chapter 46. The Summer Solstice. After many minutes of stunned silence, Asur again addressed the group. The spark was our last hope. Thousands of years ago, Jinn came to this earth, and over 700 years ago, at the height of their power, they were responsible for deadly storms, famine, wars, and the Black Death. After hundreds of millions of people lost their lives, we finally managed to defeat them, but it was at a great cost, a cost we cannot again afford. It took 4,132 pure souls to do it, selfless heroes who sacrificed their lives. The flame was given to this world as a gift to prevent the Jinn from ever returning to their full strength again. It was our last gift from the sisters, Sun, Earth, and Moon. My only job was... Tears began to leak from Asur's eyes. All I had to do was protect the flame. And I failed. And soon I will leave this earth, and I'm afraid there'll be nothing my beautiful granddaughter will be able to do about it. Asur wiped away some tears. 2 weeks ago, I was visited by a Sila Jinni named Jinx. He brought with him a message. He told me that without the flame to protect the earth, 3 godlike Jinn, or Merid, named Gaia, Thanatos, and Phopter, will return to Earth, and they'll bring with them global devastation. This will happen at midnight on the summer solstice, June 21st. That is when the moon sits the lowest in the sky, because it was the moon's job to shine a light in the darkness, protecting the earth from the evildoers that lurk and prowl at night. It is on the summer solstice that the earth is most vulnerable. That is today. I used to believe good will always defeat evil, but I was wrong. Asur collapsed with grief and exhaustion into his old armchair. In fact, they all needed to sit down. What are we going to do? Verona thought to herself. Over the constant banging on the walls from the Jinn outside, Verona exclaimed, "No!" Verona then continued once everyone in the room was looking at her. "No, all is not lost. You taught me that." She looked at her old friend. "We did not go through everything we went through just to give up now." "But what can we possibly do without the flame?" Jack interjected. "Asur, who should know better than anyone, says it's over. We lost." Verona looked at the grandfather clock in the corner and did a quick calculation in her head. "We have approximately 18 hours left until midnight. That has to be enough time to figure out how to fight these beasts and send them back to hell." With that, the sun began to rise, and the banging slowed. The Jinn outside once again found shadows to hide in, but they had not gone far. Asur told the group they would not be able to find the Jinn in the daylight. The old keeper informed the group. Jinn are invisible to humans in the daylight, so the group would have the day to prepare, and when the sun sets, the fight will resume. Lake asked, "What do we do?" Verona said, "It's going to be a long day, and we will need our strength. Let's get about 4 hours of sleep and meet back here at 10 o'clock. Even though everyone was exhausted, no one believed they would be able to get back to sleep at this point. Still, as usual, no one argued with Verona. Due to the windows being boarded up, the house was dark. The constant banging from the Jinn outside had now completely stopped. Lincoln, Adam, and Jack lay down and closed their eyes. They had not gotten a good night's rest in so long that their bodies ached with fatigue and finally just shut down. They fell into a deep sleep that was overrun with nightmares and worry. Each of them dreamed of a world filled with Jinn and misery. Verona, Lake, and Assur could not find any rest. Assur was riddled with guilt and worry. But Lake and Verona were the two optimists of the group. They believed they could find some other solution. Verona picked up the dusty old book off the floor that Assur had shown them before. "The Great Shadow War," Verona read. The two girls spent hours scouring through the old book. After some time, Lake noticed a sketch of a necklace in the shape of a sun. Verona read, "The sun necklace possesses the power of the sun. It grants whoever wears it great strength by magnifying the wearer's gifts." It also had the same prayer that Nurin had taught them written under the picture. The two realized this necklace could help them greatly when fighting the Jinn. If Verona was wearing it, she may be able to control the masses of Jinn with her mind. If Adam wore it, his strength might be enough to destroy them all, or even the lamps themselves. Lake said, "It kind of looks like my moon necklaces, but this one is a sun. I don't see anything in this book about how moon necklaces can help. We don't have a sun necklace. What does it all mean?" Verona shook her head, indicating that she did not know. After many days of stress and little sleep, Verona's head started to ache. She closed her eyes and rubbed her temples. Lake sat at the table, fidgeting with her necklace, lost in thought. After a while, Lake snapped out of it and looked over at Verona, but was startled to see her friend, the girl from the hospital, sitting where Verona had been just moments ago. "Tell me what to do," Lake began to plead. The girl replied, "Don't give up." Lake snapped awake. She desperately wanted to go back to sleep so that the girl could tell her more. She had so many questions. What should I do? How can we win? What does it all mean? She sat there now, staring at Verona, sleeping with her head resting on the large open book, sitting in the chair next to hers. Lake shook her head, wiped her eyes, and stood up to go use the bathroom. When Lake reached the bathroom, she noticed a ray of sunlight peering through a small crack between the boards of the small window over the tub. It hit the clock on the wall, illuminating it. It read, 8:23. Lake sat down. She considered the time, but it felt to her that Verona and she were studying that old book for well over the 2 hours the clock suggested. Lake was curious, so much so that when she finished, she went to check a different clock, thinking the bathroom clock was not working properly. Lake snuck into Assur's bedroom, being careful not to make a sound. Lincoln was still sleeping on the bed. There was a digital alarm clock on the nightstand. Sure enough, it glowed with bright red numbers. 8:24. Lake turned to leave, but then did a double take when she noticed the red dot to the left of the numbers was on the bottom. Wiping her eyes, she moved in to take a closer look. 8:24 p.m. Lake realized she had been asleep much longer than it seemed. How could this happen? They were almost out of time, and the others were still out cold. Lake ran out of the room, yelling, "Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up!"